World of YouTube, Tearful Sight here, and I wanted to cover something that I heard on WZLX, Boston's classic rock radio station. And if you want to check it out every morning, I recommend it highly. 7:40, they have what's happening with the DJs type thing. They come in each morning with a story to tell, and sometimes it's really great and funny. Sometimes it's, just sucks that happen, or, therefore. But today, very interesting, and it's got to do with today's technology. And I tell you, it just gets more creepier and creepier every day. And I wanted to share some of my thoughts, theories, ideas on this. I mean, I'm gonna see if Heather will watch this video, share it with her on her Twitter account, to see her 10X, whatever you want to call it, and see if she'll watch it. But I most definitely want to give her my input on that, because yes, it is very creepy. And already when I heard about this, everything was popping up in my head on, what could be. And I'll tell you, man, when something like this happens, and I can assure you, right, it's probably happened, maybe within I could say a year or so, but who knows? But this is the first time I've ever heard it, and of course, the first time she's ever had anything like this happen. And yeah, and just the way technology is going these days, it's just getting more intense and insane. Which is an old great commercial. Crazy Eddie! My prices are insane! Yeah. Anyways, in all seriousness, so what had happened was, I guess yesterday she went home, took a nap, was sleeping with an Apple iWatch, mind you. Good old Apple. I was gonna say phone. My son had an Apple phone, and I literally found out, I won't say by who on this, but their screens literally break themselves. Yeah, that's right, you heard me. And when you're left to bring that phone back to the store and they buy it back from you, yeah, and give you a new one at same price, you ain't getting no deal. But yeah, I found out their screens actually break themselves. They come unresponsive, and you sit there and you're tapping the crap out of it and they don't do nothing. I went through a whole process with that damn phone, and I will never own an Apple phone just for that fact. And I won't never own anything Apple just for this fact. So as she's taking a nap, she supposedly had a 911 call sent in. She wanted to say that her dog might have jumped up on the bed, which I think she said he did, a Great Dane, mind you. Probably touched the watch and hit an emergency phone call. As the operator called, she's taking a nap, I think she said she was dreaming or something. It was about a dream, but she woke up out of the dream of, the officer dispatch, 911, what's your emergency? She thought she was dreaming, I guess. I didn't catch the first part of it because I was ordering my coffee, but that's what I'm assuming happened. So she woke up out of her sleep to her phone with the police on it. As she's talking to the police, she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, my dog must have hit my phone. There's no emergency." I guess nowadays they send someone out anyways, regardless, due to the fact to see if it's, a fake prank, or, if someone is in an emergency and they're getting, in the background, someone holding maybe a gun or a knife to them, telling them it's not an emergency type thing, right? So they had to send a detailed officer out there. But now this is the creepy fact about it. Even though, yes, there could have been a chance that the dog stepped on it, while jumping on the bed, getting up there, going to take a nap with her or whatever. A number was read back to Heather, the news girl on WZLX, and that was not her number. 617 area code was the number, but the rest was completely different. Now, how does a 911 call get placed, but not the number? The house location came up, her house, of course. Even her husband got an alert with that same number, not hers. And he was calling what's happening, what's going on, but it wasn't her number. So they're over there trying to figure out and come up with thoughts, theories, ideas of their own, I guess. But here's my thought theory idea, in the simple fact that, one, of course, is the most common one. Someone getting into your phone and, all this technology and hacking you. But why would someone hack you and not steal nothing, but yet make a 911 call? So that leads, not, to get into your account, take stuff, money, whatever, right? But getting information. And this is something, and there's more ideas coming up in my mind. There could be somebody literally using her address. And if Heather watches this, hopefully I don't freak her out, but hey, you got to think about the possibilities, and you got to, like I always say, you have to expand everything. You got to think about a lot of things that could happen. And someone getting a property address, using it, putting a phone number there, and then in the end of all that, getting a 911 call. That would be kind of stupid to do as a person trying to move in, but that's right, trying to move on in, and it probably wouldn't happen, but it's just a possibility. You got to think of everything out there, scary or not, that they move on in your address, but they're not physically living there, but they move on in there and use all this information, and they could say rightfully, I live there. It's a thing called cash for keys, and I've heard about this due to squatters or homeless people moving into abandoned buildings, putting their address there, turning on their lights there, if they're capable of doing it. But if you, let alone just put an address in an abandoned building, there's a thing called cash for keys. And they pay you cash to get out if you're physically living there. And now I'm thinking that this could be something like the future, as Squidward says in SpongeBob SquarePants. Future! That you don't have to be a squatter to move yourself in on someone's address. As I tell you, it's a scary thought. It's a very scary thought. And whether or not they're using that just to, have some, how can I say it? Just some leadway for something. If they're going to get a credit card, if they're going to apply for a loan, and this is my address, this is my phone number, right? And they're using this to build up stuff. But yet, they don't live there physically. It's scary, but think about it. And that's what first came to my mind when I heard all this. I mean, I'm like, ugh. And then they're calling 911 and their address is at that house. So let alone say if they happen to have an emergency, medical emergency, get taken to the hospital, right? Or they're getting attacked or whatever. But if they're going to the hospital, they have an address to send bills. Bill ain't there. I mean, the bill goes there. And that person, right, don't have to pay nothing. They got a whole new, they're living in a different, wherever they're living. They're just using that for, you know, I mean, it sounds corny. It might sound stupid and insane, but figure this. If it's a fake name, real address, let alone, you know, and then you can, you know, there's back in the past, people could buy their Social Security cards off the street, register it, and I'm sure you can still do it today, and especially with the digital world and this future technology, it's insane what you can come up with. I mean, I look on realty websites, and when you're on these realty websites, I'll tell you, they got this little section, do you own this home? Click now if you want to sell your home. Now, if there's some clever, logical way to get someone to start a sale on a house through realty, say like all these realty websites, and you can just press on it. That's simple. Know the address. And you're going through town looking for addresses, and you're looking for all this stuff. And yeah, there could be some way that people make up phony, people make up phony Social Securities back in the day, IDs. They can make a phony deed to your house. You never know what the future technology holds. So with that being said, and someone already on Heather's address and using that phone number there, I mean, it could be one of them burn phones that if the cops go trace it, all of a sudden it disappears. So, I mean, this is what I mean, call me crazy, say what you will, but I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the internet, and I've been learning this, and I've always, myself, have always been, had that eye for technology, and I love electronics, and I can maneuver and do things with them, but scamming and all that crap, I don't know nothing about, but I have ideas about it, and just to think about it, and to do it, I mean, with computers and, all this crazy stuff that comes out, I mean, that's just a possibility, and gives you something really to think about. So, I mean, Heather, if you do watch this video, I mean, I'm not trying to scare you or nothing, but you got to get them ideas going in your head like me, and where I'm always thinking of stuff like this, because, I would love to save the world and try and stop all this madness, and it's just, yeah, but all I can do is just give them thoughts, theories, ideas, so this is one of them, because once I heard that, it's like, wow. So, yeah, you got to really keep your eyes open. And, I mean, them Apple Watches and phones, I mean, they're so high in advance, too. They're good in ways. But other ways, forget it. I don't want nothing to do with it. So, that being said, anybody who owns an Apple Watch phone, I'll just give you the huge salute for owning it. Hopefully you don't get something bad happen to you, digital-wise, scam-wise, because remember, Apple Watches are good, yeah, they got all this kind of greatness to it, but there's someone else with one that uses the greatness for bad and for, crazy reasons. Think about it. And they want to try and maneuver everything on their phone they can. And I almost got scammed myself, mind you, through a phone. And there is an app literally that you can download, and someone on the other line literally can control your phone. Trust me, I almost got scammed. But I used my brains and I witted that person, canceled my credit card that I accidentally gave, and no money was ever taken. It was all on hold. And as soon as I went to the credit card itself, they bang, stopped it, bang, sent me a new one. And it's something that had to do with eBay. And they were going, oh, you paid too much money or something. But there's literally an app that can literally control your phone from all over the world. So with that being said, and this happening, you can just imagine what someone can do just by having your address. So be safe, take care, everybody. World of YouTube, Heather. Still doing a great job, even though everything's going, the way it went. I'm still in shock about the whole thing. I don't want to say it, you know what it is, but that's my thought, theories, ideas, folks. Till that next video. Out.